Hi everyone, Kristen here on behalf of Virtual Clarinet Academy. Today we're going to be talking about something that is so important for clarinet players and wind players alike, breathing. So we're going to be talking through how to find your best breath, how to set up for your best support, what that feels like physically and how you should be positioning your body. And then some really helpful tips and tricks for taking in a better breath and just using better air support throughout your playing time. The first thing for any good breath is to make sure that you have really excellent posture. So, super basic, make sure that you're sitting in a chair and that you can keep both feet flat on the floor. Anytime you cross your legs or are sitting kind of on the floor, you're limiting how well you can support your lungs and your torso, and that's really what we want to focus on as we're talking about breathing. So even if you're practicing standing up, I think that's wonderful, but just make sure that you're in a posture where you can be thinking about stacking your body. So you want to make sure that you can align your pelvis or your butt with your shoulder blades and then also with your head. So even for me, as I did that, as I'm thinking through it and talking to y'all, you can see that my posture has changed. So again, just make sure you're aligning from your bottom all the way to your top, nice and tall. For me, it definitely feels like I have to pull in a little bit more and engage the abdominals, which is great because we're going to be talking a little bit more about that in a second and how it relates to breathing. But also just practice staying that way. As you're doing that, if you're feeling a lot of tension anywhere, like if you feel like you really have to squeeze your bottom to hold that in place or you really have to force your shoulders, go ahead and relax that. Try to do this in a way that's really natural and that doesn't add any extra tension to your body because that's only going to come out in your playing. Another place we want to avoid tension is in the inhalation itself. So as you're preparing to breathe, listen to the sound that you're making. Is it soft and relaxed, or is there a tension or an audible sound? So listen that it sounds something like instead of or something along those lines. The last thing in our basics of breathing is, where are you breathing into? Are you taking in a short, shallow breath like a sniff and breathing in really up here? Or are you thinking more like the word home and breathing into your stomach? The right answer is breathing into your stomach. We want to be breathing low as clarinet players and really as wind players because you're filling up more of the lung, you're engaging the diaphragm, and again, just being aware of that abdominal support as you play, like I mentioned earlier. Okay, so now that we've talked about our posture and where to breathe and how to breathe without tension, let's talk about some exercises that you can use to develop better breath control and really take in that deep breath that we're all desiring. So just as another reminder, we want to be breathing low into your stomach. A really easy way to check if you're doing this is to lay flat on the floor, put your hand on your stomach, and just practice breathing in. Feel how it really comes from the tummy and not from the top of your chest. Another really easy trick is to do what we call like a Darth Vader breath. So you're just gonna take your hand, and I tuck my thumb here, put your hand here where it's the tip of my finger is kind of at the tip of my nose, and breathe in. And that really kind of gets me to sound sort of like Darth Vader's breathing machine. That is also helping me take in a really nice deep breath. Last but not least, I think one of the easiest ways to check for abdominal engagement and support as you're playing is to lift up your feet as you're playing your instrument. So once you get into the practice room and are ready to try some of these techniques and having a really good breath, find a position in your chair where you can comfortably lift up one or both of your feet and really notice how the abdominals have to engage and how that really changes your breath support as you play. All right, everyone, thanks so much for watching. We really hope that this was helpful to you. If you have other questions about breathing, feel free to leave us a comment below. If you really enjoyed this content, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on Instagram at Virtual Clarinet Academy. There's tons of tips and tricks that we post throughout the week, and we would love to engage with you. Again, thanks so much for watching. Happy breathing, happy practicing.